Hey guys, I'm getting started here. It is 3 o'clock Eastern time, noon Pacific. Talking all about exercise today. It's been a while. I haven't been on Periscope in a very long time. You guys, can you hear me? Can you go ahead and just tap the screen if you guys can hear me, okay? We have some construction going on. Yeah, welcome back. Thank you guys. Okay, cool. You can hear me? Awesome. There's some construction going on outside my building. Good to see you guys too. Oh, hey Fabian. Okay, so it sounds like it's loud and clear. Missed you guys too. I want to talk about exercise today. I have a bunch of goodies for you, and I want to talk about how to get better results. So first and foremost, hey girl. Let me know where you guys are from. So if you can, tell me your name and where you are scoping from today. So tell me your name and where you're scoping from today. Laura from Philly. Sometimes the usernames don't have your name, so I like that you guys are putting your name too. Nan from NYC. I am back. I know you guys, it's been way too long. I've been on Snapchat. Hey Angie, Jesse, Holly, Susan, Kristen, Chris, Max, Terry, two Terrys, Gary, thank you. Hi. Thank you guys. Bob, Kate. Oh, hey Kate, what's going on, girl? Julie, nice. Thank you guys so much. I'm reading all of these, and I'm definitely gonna go back and check all of them out after in the when I watch the replay. So tell me today, next question is going to be, what was your workout today, or what's it going to be today? So what's your workout today, or what's it going to be today? What is your workout today, or what is it going to be today? Squats. Cool. Lots of questions. Very cool. Recovery day. Wow, 16-mile run. Getting after it. Spinning class, squats, metabolic prime, very cool. Awesome. Cardio, indoor cycling, 40 minutes of cardio, 5-mile run. Lots of cardio, guys. Anyone doing lifting today? Yoga, yeah, for sure. Hate that you're sick. Weights, yeah, we're not doing those. 5K, more important, diet or exercise. Tennis, cool. Okay, you guys, so write those in for me. Heavy lifting, cool. Cock push-ups, yeah, that's a good one. Cool. Okay, so next question is, what is your favorite workouts? Of course, I like to ask you guys questions. What is your absolute favorite workout? What is your absolute favorite workout? Tell me what your favorite workout is. Running, cardio, squats, deadlifts, boxing, hell yeah. Spinning, lifting weights, lifting heavy weights, very cool, slow and focused, awesome. Cool. Deadlifts, cardio, perfect. So, awesome, thank you for writing those in. Cool. All right, so thank you for saying that, you guys. I have a treat for you really quick before we get into the content today. Before we get into the content, I want to give you a URL to go to get a freebie that I just put together. It's 12 HIIT workouts. So you guys know HIIT, H-I-I-T, stands for high intensity interval training. All of the workouts are actually 40 minutes or less. So go to jillscopes.com, download the freebie. It is 12 workouts, so you actually get 12 full workouts. If one of you guys could, do you mind writing that in for me, that URL, jillscopes.com. Make sure you guys download that and then send me an email and let me know what you think. So jillscopes.com, go right there, download the freebie, 12 HIIT workouts, all different machines, so not just treadmill stuff. Thank you guys so much for writing that. And then send me an email. So my email is info@jillfit.com. info@jillfit.com. Make sure that you guys send me how you liked the workouts. Which ones did you try? How did you like them? Awesome. Make sure you guys info@jillfit.com. Very cool. Thanks for writing that in. Send me an email and let me know. Okay, so today, let's start out really quick by you telling me kind of number one struggle that you're having with your exercise. So I know it's kind of like negative to start with, what's your struggle? But honestly, you guys, this is important because we talked about what you're going to do today. We talked about your favorite workout, and now I want to know what the number one thing is that is frustrating you. So write into me the number one thing or the most confusing part or anything like that. Gaining weight regardless of diet, consistency, hunger, tiredness, fitting it in, right time, that's a huge one. Hypertrophy is a challenge, so building muscle, how to stay motivated, soreness, not seeing results, yeah, that's super frustrating. Last 10 pounds, lifting properly for sure. Eating to gain muscle, definition, yeah, consistency in diet. So how many of you guys feel like with your exercise, you're pretty consistent and you kind of like enjoy exercise, but you're having a hard time with your nutrition stuff? Sometimes a couple of you guys are saying that you get bored easily, totally understand that. How many of you guys feel like, tap on the screen for me, if you feel like you like your workouts and you feel like you really enjoy them and it's not that hard for you, but nutrition is probably the hardest one. So tap the screen if that's you. Nutrition's always a struggle. Yep, that's me. You guys, for me, that was the same thing. That's actually why I got into the fitness industry, was because I just fell in love with exercise. I literally just wanted to do step aerobics, and I love doing different fitness classes and things like that. And over time, I was doing so much exercise that my hunger and cravings were so through the roof that when I got home from the gym, it was like all I could do to white knuckle my way through not eating stuff. So how many of you guys kind of feel like that? You feel like your workouts are good, you love it, but when you get home, you just feel like it's so hard to good. So definitely tap on the screen, give me some hearts if that's you. That was totally me. And so what I found was happening is then I would eat a lot, so I felt like I needed to burn up all those calories. I know it's so ridiculous, but I did. I would go to the gym the next morning and I would feel so gross. I remember especially on Monday mornings, I was with a girlfriend, and every single Monday morning we would meet out on the track, and we would do these punishing sprints every Monday morning because I remember feeling so nauseous the whole time. Totally, right? So we get into this cycle, I call it the cardio cycle, where we feel like we have to burn off a whole bunch of calories, and then the more exercise we do, the more our cravings and hunger increase, right? So what's the solution here? What is the thing that can really kind of help with this? Is it to just keep doing more exercise? Is it to change things up? I think it's super important, and it took me a really, really, really long time to get here. It is super important to find the minimum effective dose of exercise. Okay, I'm going to say it again. The minimum effective dose of exercise to get the results that you want, but not do too much, that you get these compensatory reactions. So compensatory just means you compensate by eating a lot and you have these cravings, right? And you go home and you kind of can't control yourself. So how do you do that? Everyone has a specific sweet spot. And this comes down, for many of us, to hormones. So if you guys like talking hormones, give me some hearts and we'll get into some hormonal stuff. If you don't, then I don't know, maybe just get off because I'm about to get into some stuff. Okay, cool. So we always kind of talk about hormones, especially for women, especially around your menses and your cycle and things like that. But you want to think about it in terms of, we have hormones that are catabolic. Do you guys know what catabolic means? Catabolic hormones, they're hormones that break shit down. So they go into our fat and they start mobilizing fat, and they go into our muscle and they start breaking down muscle. And the reason why they do that is for fuel. So when we exercise or do any kind of activity, these catabolic hormones are important because we need energy to exercise. So catabolic hormones are things like cortisol and the catecholamines, which is adrenaline, noradrenaline. Have you guys heard of these? Have you heard of cortisol? You've heard of adrenaline, noradrenaline, and things like cortisol kind of gets a bad rap. Cortisol gets a bad rap because we go, oh, it's I'm cortisol dumb, too much cortisol. Remember, your body needs cortisol because it's a gas pedal for exercise. A lot of people think it's a fat storing hormone, and it's actually not. It can be later on, there can be compensatory responses, but your body needs cortisol right, to burn fat. So these catabolic hormones are actually good. The problem becomes when we have too many of those and not enough of the anabolic hormones. You guys know what anabolic is? Do you guys know what anabolic is? Anyone? Bueller? It's the opposite, right? So anabolic hormones are things like human growth hormone, testosterone. These things, yes, these are muscle building hormones. Potentially could be fat storing hormones like insulin, right? And insulin is an anabolic hormone. If you guys have heard that, like remember after your workout, you want to get a little bit of an insulin spike because you want to build muscle. So you need that insulin. That is a anabolic hormone. So we have, all of us have these different kind of levels of these hormones, and they're always kind of working in conjunction with one another. And when we exercise, we increase that cortisol, we increase the adrenaline, noradrenaline. We need that. It's a gas pedal for exercise. But too much of that, unopposed by the anabolic, will have compensatory reactions. So this is where we kind of villainize cortisol. If your workouts are too long, and if your workouts are too moderate intensity, we're gonna tend to get a higher cortisol response. Cortisol is good, but only when it is opposed with some of those anabolic hormones. We need both. We need the catabolism and the anabolism at the same time. So, are you guys liking this stuff? Is it too sciencey? Give me some hearts if this is good stuff. So this is kind of in depth, right? Some of this science. Okay, cool. Thank you guys. That's awesome. Okay, so we have catabolic hormones, anabolic hormones, and here's what happens. They've actually shown in research that longer workouts, when I say longer, in general, for most people, it's around 30 to 40 minutes. 30 to 40 minutes, because what happens at 40 minutes? What happens at 30 minutes? If I told you to go out and sprint for 30 minutes, what would you do? What would you do automatically? You would have to pace, wouldn't you? You'd have to pace. So what happens is that the intensity of the workout gets lower and lower and lower and lower and lower. You know what this feels like, right? You go into an hour-long step aerobics class and you're like, okay, we got a whole hour here. And it's not that stuff, you should never do that stuff. But here's the thing, you need to have intensity in your workouts if you want your body to respond. Think about it. Have you ever gone to a track and sprinted as hard as you could down 100 meters, then rested a couple minutes, and then sprinted again 100 meters as hard as you can? Your body responds to that intensity. If I told you to go out and sprint a mile, you would pace. You'd be like, okay, I got a whole mile to go. I'm gonna do it in 10 minutes. Totally fine, except for that your body doesn't respond as much. When you get that breathlessness and you get the burning in the muscles, that's when you know that those anabolic hormones are in play. So I'm going to say it again. When you get breathlessness, when you get burning in the muscles, that is a clue that those anabolic hormones are in play. And when they show up and cortisol's around and you have this hormonal soup, your body responds. Super, super important. It's funny, they always tell people like, go out and jog and build your cardiovascular capacity, but make sure you can have a conversation. You guys, you need to have times in your workout that you can't have a conversation. You need to have times in your workout, not the whole time, but here's what you do. Whether it's on the treadmill, whether it's on the track, whether it's in your weight training workouts, I want you to get to the point of breathlessness and burning at certain points. And when you reach that point, I want you to rest, right? So let's talk about this. So sometimes we're a little scared about failure, right? This word failure in our workout, I shouldn't go to muscle failure. You guys, at some point you have to, not all the time. We're gonna talk about recovery in a second. Not all the time, but you have got to go to muscle failure at times. So what does that look like? There are two ways that you can get to muscle failure. Number one is what's called mechanical failure. If you've ever done a 1 rep max, you know what this feels like. It is so heavy that you just can't get it up anymore. So mechanical failure is the weight is too heavy to lift. And the second type of failure is called metabolic failure. Metabolic failure is when the muscles are burning and you just can't get any more reps. You could be doing this. You can get to metabolic failure with like 5-pound weights if you want, right? If I have 5-pound weights and I'm doing a shoulder press like this, I can get to metabolic failure that way. That's the burning. 2 different ways to reach fatigue in your muscles. Number 1, mechanical failure, weight's too heavy to get up. Number 2 is metabolic failure, the burning in the muscles is too much. Is it important to reach these points in your workout? Is it? Is it important to reach these points in your workout? Yes, absolutely. You definitely have to reach these points. Why? Because that is the hormonal soup that gets your body to respond. But if you're gonna go that intense, don't you have to go for a short amount of time? Don't you? You kind of have to go for a short amount of time because you're saying, Jill, because you're saying, Jill, you know, I want to go intense, but I can't do it for long. And that's the whole point. So the key here is intensity. Sometimes, I'm going to tell you guys what I did for my workout today here in a second. So you have to have this intensity, but what is the driver of intensity? Does anybody know? Like, write it in if you know. What is the thing that allows you to exercise intensely? What is the thing that allows you to exercise intensely? Does anybody know? What is the most important thing when it comes to increasing the intensity of your workout? Anyone know? Yes. Absolutely. Rest and recovery. Rest and recovery. So there's a couple different ways. Yeah, nutrition is key too. We're going to talk about that in a second. Rest and recovery. 2 ways to do that. Number 1 is resting like when you're not at the gym. So that would be sleep, making sure you're getting plenty of that, doing recovery type activities like leisure walking, stress management, taking a hot bath, doing foam rolling, these things that lower the stress hormones. So those things are important outside of the gym. The second way to pay attention to rest and recovery is during your workout. So remember I talked about metabolic failure, mechanical failure? What happens when you reach that point? You rest. And if it's a breathlessness issue, I want you to bring your breathlessness down to the point where you can have a conversation again. And then I want you to go back up. So this is called rest-based training. Metabolic Effect created this concept called rest-based training. And what it is, it's kind of like interval training. You guys have heard of interval training where you push for 30 seconds and then you rest for 30 seconds. Rest-based training is where you decide how long you rest. So you might push until the point of breathlessness or burning, and then you rest for as long as it takes you to get that burning out of the muscles and to be able to have a conversation again, and then that's when you push again. So it's this alternate. For someone, they might push for 10 seconds and rest for a minute. Someone else might push for 40 seconds and rest for 10 seconds. Totally individualized, but the key is this. You want to reach that point of fatigue, or you want to reach that point of breathlessness, burning, and then bring it down. So that's within your workout. Number 1 is plenty of rest and recovery between. So how often do you do these super intense workouts? Remember, short workouts, I always say 30 minutes or less, 40 minutes max. So if you're going to go to Jill Scopes and you're going to download the high intensity interval training booklet, all of those workouts are 40 minutes or less. Make sure you're listening to your body, being safe. So resting within the workout, but I would do these 2 to 3 times per week. Yes, I know. Fabian says it puts you in control. And that's awesome because you know what it does is it actually gets people to push harder. There's a lot of research on autonomy and something called self-determination theory that allows for people to be in control of how hard they push. And they found that when people are in control of how hard they push even a little bit harder than if there's kind of a prescribed thing that they should be following. So that's good news for us, right? We can rest as long as we need to, we feel in control of it, and then we push again. So make sure you guys are paying attention to recovery. 2 to 3 times per week, high intensity interval training and or heavy weight training. So I want to talk about heavy. We always see these things, right? Women should be lifting heavy and all that stuff. And we should, because think about it. Your body really cannot respond if it is not pushed to the point of having to take a rest or getting to that mechanical failure, metabolic failure, total fatigue. A couple times a week, make sure that you're doing that. Heavy will be different to everybody. So you have to pay attention to the burning in the muscles. You have to pay attention to that mechanical failure. It's the only way you know. In general, most women can add 5 to 10 pounds than they think they can. I think we don't give ourselves enough credit for the fact that we're strong. And remember, you don't just pick a weight and keep it the whole workout, right? You change the workout, you change the weight based on the exercise that you're doing. So if you're doing legs, you can go a little bit heavier. If you're doing a back, remember the back is a big muscle. You can lift more weight. Usually chest, we can do shoulders, maybe a little bit less, biceps, a little bit less, triceps, a little bit less. These are smaller muscle groups. But add 5 to 10 pounds and see how you guys do with those. Add 5 to 10 pounds and see how you guys do. But remember, listen to your body, be safe. If you can't control the weight, it's probably a little bit too heavy. So is this good stuff, you guys? I'm going to tell you what I did today in a second, and we'll wrap up. Cool. I definitely want you guys to grab that. That's so sweet. I love that your daughter wants to do the workouts. Cool. You guys are liking this? Okay, cool. So we'll definitely do more of this. A couple things that you need to know. The second thing is nutrition. So let's talk about that real quick. Nutrition, we talked about rest and recovery, super important. And nutrition, because here's the thing. If you're not repleting, right? Replenishing the foods that you need to, you're not going to be able to perform the next day. So that doesn't mean like you need to go overboard on carbs or whatever, but you definitely need to make sure that you're getting enough healthy fats, you're getting enough clean starches, right? And you're getting enough fruits and vegetables, super important because they provide the micronutrition, right? They provide the micronutrition with your vitamins and minerals. These things, vitamins and minerals, you guys, like, B vitamins and, vitamin D and all these things, they help our metabolism work better and work more optimally. So if we're not repleting with those, if you're doing intense training and you're not on some sort of high quality multivitamin, you definitely want to make sure that, and then also pay attention to fruits and vegetables, and of course, protein. I recommend that most women who are lifting intensely get at least 100 grams of protein a day. So remember, don't be crazy with it, but make sure that every time you sit down to eat, you're getting at least a little bit of protein in your food. So it can be from meat, it can be from protein shakes, bars, things like that. Make sure that you're getting at least a little bit. So a question about how much you should eat after the workout depends on what your goal is. So if your goal is muscle building, a couple of you guys said that you were really interested in muscle building, then I would say you probably want to do a 1-to-1 ratio of protein and carbs after your workout. So I'm going to say that again. If your goal is to add muscle mass, then you probably want to do a 1-to-1 ratio of protein to carb. So that might be 30 and 30. That's one of my favorites, is 30 grams of each. But you might need even a little bit more if you're a hard gainer. For me, I put on muscle really easily. So you might want to go 40-40 or even 50-50 after your workout. And you probably want to get that within an hour after your workout. If your goal is just maintenance and kind of feeling good and feeling light, you can actually take a little bit of time after your workout. I know that's not a popular opinion, but after your workout, give yourself like an hour. You don't need to go home and immediately eat food, right? It's not like you're losing muscle every second. If your goal is just to maintain or even a little bit of fat loss, give yourself like an hour before you eat, and then have something that's satisfying. Have a salad with protein, maybe like a side of starch, one kind of serving, but you don't have to go overboard. So it really depends on what your goal is. And if you guys are interested more in this, make sure you go ahead and Google what should I eat after my workout, JillFit. So JillFit, what do I eat after my workout? There's a whole blog that outlines those 2 different goal sets. So it's much more in depth if you guys are interested in that, on kind of how I do it. So nutrition is key. Do not make the mistake of skimping on your micronutrition. I have to say that's super, super important. You will feel the difference in the gym, especially for women, you guys. If you're not paying attention to your iron levels and stuff like that, especially for women, premenopausal women, iron deficiency is super, super common. I have anemia, so I take an iron supplement. Super important for rest and recovery. So you guys, that's it for me today. One more time, make sure you go to jillscopes.com. Grab the freebie there, and definitely if you feel like sharing this, that would be super, super awesome. If you feel like sharing the replay, if this was good stuff, let me know, and I'll definitely do more. A couple of things to get on your radar. Number 1 is that I am going to be doing, and you guys, if you're asking questions, I'm going to watch the replay, and I'm actually going to be creating content based on the things you said that you were struggling with, and also some of your questions. So thank you for writing those in. I'm going to read every single one of them. So if this is good stuff, let me know. I'm going to be doing more scopes over the next month. A couple things I want you to get on your mental calendar. May 3rd, May 3rd, I'm launching a new program called Tread Lift. I'm sure some of you guys have kind of seen this out there. I've been talking about it a lot. I'm super, super excited about it. I'm actually going to be sending out, if you guys got the HIIT guide, I'm going to be sending out some workouts to try out, to beta test for you guys. So make sure that you take a look in your inbox for that. I'm going to be sending a ton of workout stuff over the next month or so. So May 3rd, Tread Lift launches. It's a treadmill and dumbbell based workout. All the workouts are going to be 30 minutes or less. It's going to be super, super awesome. JillScopes.com. If you have any questions, you know where to find me. info@jillfit.com. So great to see your faces. Happy Easter, everybody. Thanks for that. You're the best. I'll see you soon. Bye.